Jeers as Duterte breaks out to anti-endo. Factory worker Geraldine Gomez felt that President Duterte gave her and many other contractual employees false hope when he promised in his 2016 presidential campaign an end to contractualization in the workforce. It is clear that he just let us left square bracket down right square bracket. Left square bracket to measure right square bracket to help provide us with livable wages, a safer workplace. He has forsaken us, said Gomez, a contractual for 3 years now in a detergent factory. Gomez was referring to President Duterte's veto of the Security of Tenure (SOT) bill on Friday, a day before the much-anticipated measure aimed at ending contractualization would have lapsed into law. Security of Tenure bill vetoed by the President, presidential spokesperson Salvador Tainlo said in a text message on Friday. Late Thursday night, Tainlo said Mr. Duterte has vetoed the bill, only to backtrack minutes later with a subsequent message saying the President is still studying the pros and cons. Sorry for the error. We will know tomorrow for sure. Certified urgent. Mr. Duterte certified as urgent such a bill in his State of the Nation address last year, saying in part, "That is why I add mine to their left square bracket workers single quote right square bracket voices in asking Congress to pass legislation ending the practice of contractualization once and for all." But in his veto message on Friday, Mr. Duterte said that Consolidated Enrolled Senate Bill No. 1826 or House Bill No. 6908 unduly broadens the scope and definition of prohibited labor-only contracting, LOC, effectively proscribing forms of contractualization that are not particularly unfavorable to the employees involved. Indeed, while labor-only contracting must be prohibited, legitimate job contracting should be allowed, provided that the contractor is well capitalized, has sufficient investments and affords its employees all the benefits provided for under the labor law, he said, adding, "I believe the sweeping expansion of the definition of labor-only contracting destroys the delicate balance and will place capital and management at an impossibly difficult predicament with adverse consequences to the Filipino workers in the long term." Businesses should be allowed to determine whether they should outsource certain activities or not, especially when job contracting will result in economy and efficiency in their operations, with no detriment to the workers, regardless of whether this is directly related to their business. I stand by my firm commitment to protect the workers' right to security of tenure by eradicating all forms of abusive employment practices. Our goal, however, has always been to target the abuse, while leaving businesses free to engage in those practices beneficial to both management and the workforce, the President said. Management prerogative. On July 16, the country's leading business groups issued a joint statement urging Mr. Duterte to veto the measure, saying job contracting as an exercise of management prerogative and business judgment is anchored on two constitutional rights, right and freedom to contract and right to property. The Make-I Business Club, MBC, one of the signatories, pointed out key features of SB 1826 which the House of Representatives adopted as the final bill endorsed to the President. Among them was the tightened definition of LOC as well as the stiffer requirements and penalties for both labor and job contracting. At present, LOC happens when a job contractor has no substantial capital/investment and equipment, and when the workers are performing work directly related to the contractee's business, or when the contractee has direct supervision over the worker, MBC said. Thankful in the approved version, LOC occurs when any of the three situations mentioned above exist, MBC added. Major business organizations welcomed Mr. Duterte's decision on Friday. Rizom Entering, president of the Management Association of the Philippines, said the President actually outlined the rationale for the veto quite well, and we are glad that he recognized that the bill would have adversely affected workers in the long term. MBC Executive Director Coco Alcuaz said the business sector thanks the President for giving them the flexibility to attract and create jobs in the highly competitive global economy. Crestfallen, losing faith dismayed by the veto, Senator Joel Villanueva, principal author of the Senate bill, said we knew right from the start that the odds were stacked against the measure. We pressed on, knowing that many workers are relying on us to finally end illegal forms of contractualization. Senate President Vicente Sotto III said, "I'm crestfallen, but that's how democracy works." And Congress, being dynamic, can refile and repass the bill. For Gabriela Rep, Arlene Brosas, the president pandered to the pleasure of business chambers by killing the anti-endo bill. Even with the watered-down provisions of the anti-endo bill, Duterte acted in absolute compliance. Left square bracket with right square bracket. The business sectors demand not to sign the security of tenure law in utter disregard of his campaign promise. Duterte chose big business over workers and even over himself, Brosas said. For Alan Tanjate, spokesperson for the Associated Labor Union's Trade Union Congress of the Philippines, ALU-TUS, Mr. Duterte shut the hope of workers for a better life and opted to listen to his economic managers, whom he left square bracket led right square bracket in the do not signing the watered-down version of the bill. The SOT measure, had it been signed into law, would have mandated the creation of tripartite councils per industry, which would determine who among the workers are deemed necessary and desirable to the core business, and therefore can be regularized by the principal owners, Tanjate said. ALU-TUS estimates that based on the number of minimum wage earners, as reflected in the Social Security system's data, contractual workers in the country may be as many as 9 million. What is the democratic process left now that workers can rely on so that they may escape poverty? The president did not fulfill his promise. He turned his back and walked away from his commitment to help end of contract workers out of poverty, Tanjate said. Mr. Duterte may have been too confident with his trust and popularity ratings, he said, and now there is a possibility that our workers will lose faith in him. TUS Vice President Louis Corral added, "We do not understand how we have moved so far away from what left square bracket the president right square bracket promised. Congress has acted on the certification. Why should there now be a veto of something he certified as an urgent national bill?" Hardline Position Federation of Free Workers Vice President Julius Heinlein noted how workers moved from left square bracket their right square bracket hardline original position on prohibiting all kinds of contractualization, yet Mr. Duterte vetoed this. His veto statement seems to have been lifted from the statement of employers justifying their call for a veto. Jojo Mata, Secretary General of Centro Minimachkakaisa Progresivom Mindanao, said the president only betrayed his lack of understanding about the nature of contracting when he said that contracting should be allowed where they are not unfavorable to workers. There is no such thing. Contracting work is inherently detrimental to workers because they are made to suffer temporary, short-term and contingent work, Mata said. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.